Hi guys, this is Pradeep. So in 2024, I'm going to prepare one new series that is exclusively very tricky interview questions, which will help you. And in this series, I'm going to add both business process related questions as well as development related questions, so that it will be help you for both the jobs, whether you are planning for any business analyst role or maybe consulting role. First one is what is P2P series? So P2P procurement FIMM integration, anything you can say. So now you can see here the P2P process is going to start with material requirement planning, then next followed with purchase requisition, then request for quotation, then vendor selection, purchase order, goods receipt, after that invoice receipt. Up to this invoice receipt, whatever activities are there, so everything will be handled by the logistic consultant. After that, the payment and reconciliation is handled by the finance team. So that means when we are saying that it is P2P process, which is combination of both logistic department, including in logistic again multiple departments will be there, and the last two part, that is payment to vendor and reconciliation, is core finance activities. And in fact the reconciliation is part of, you can say, R2R, and this one is payment to vendor, it is payable. So what are the prerequisite here for this to execute this process? The configuration of logistic, configuration of finance, and in finance particularly the payable part, the business partner, maybe you can say it is related to logistic. In fact, it is cross module application, so it will be used in both the modules, and its integration, and plus banking. So banking activities will be there, because without bank the payment will not be triggered. And in reconciliation, again, your bank reconciliation, whether you are going for manual bank reconciliation, of course companies prefer electronic bank statement. So sorry, EBS process, electronic bank statement, so that will be part of reconciliation. So let's understand from the beginning. From the finance point of view, as you are preparing for finance job, particularly if you are from the finance background, then this MRP, purchase requisition, quotation, all these activities will not be handled by the you, but I'm just covering as it is part of the process. So what is material requirement planning? Material requirement planning means when there will be need of some material, so we need some materials in our production, so that requirement planning will be there, and it is basically identifying the need. So what we are looking here, right? And here the MRP procedure will be there. The price of the material will be, determined in this internally, it is internal process. So this all this covers under your MRP part, core logistic activities. So once we identify, okay, this much quantity of raw materials required, this much let's say packing material required, this much tools required. So once all this needs identified from the concerned department, let's say raw materials, so production department, so production department looking for some raw materials for their continue the production, or let's say there is some requirement of lubricant. So this type of once identification or the need is identified, so then the next activity will be our purchase requisition. So purchase requisition means every organization, they have multiple departments are there, and every department, as I said, they need something. So there is a purchase requirement from a concerned employee, it will be initiated, so that the concerned department or the concerned employee is going to initiate the purchase request. So that means, because all the purchase activity will be handled by the purchase team or the purchase department, which we are saying in SAP language MM, or in SAP platform module. So team is going to do the purchase, but let's say raw material is required for the production department. So production department is going to initiate the process, and that the document what they will prepare, so that will be your purchase requisition purchase requisition note, or PRN, which. So once the purchase requisition will be there, so we have, let's say, registered vendors are there. So 4-5 vendors we have, they have registered vendor and they are supplying the material. Then we will ask for the quotation. So there is a need of, let's say, 100 tons of material required for this quarter, and send us the quotation. So different vendor, they are going to send the quotation, and that is known as your request for quotation. Again, this is your logistic activities, but part of it is P2P process. Then on the basis of different criteria, the vendor will be finalized. So once we have the multiple quotations, so we are going to finalize the vendor. That is known as your vendor selection. Like we are going to purchase from the vendor X. Vendor X. Of course, we are going to consider here the price. Not only price, we are going to see the quality also, because they are going to send the sample material. So we are going to take the sample on the basis of your quality you are going to identify, and timely delivery. So that is also very important. Let's say one vendor is, let's say, 1000 miles away from our location, and that time delivery time is too high. So vendor is saying that I can deliver on this period only. So that is also we need to consider. Again, logistic people, they are going to do lots of analysis and all. Then finally they finalize one vendor. So one vendor is selected. After that, and in this activities, whatever the internal documents will be generated, with this document there will be no finance. I will come to the documentation part. So in this you will not find any finance document. So that means we can say that all these activities, it is internal documents are generated in the logistic department. Then we are going to generate the purchase order. So purchase order basically, like we can say what product we are going to purchase, its quantities, all the details, from which vendor we are going to purchase, what will be the price, whether any transportation cost will be there. So if transportation cost will be there, so on what basis. So all the details, tax, everything should be included in the basic document, that is purchase order document. So in purchase order, you can say it is the first document. With reference to this document, then further documents will be continued. Although internal documents are there from the purchase requisition point of view, but purchase order is very important. And when you are working any if you are finance user and you are working in P2P process, it is also may expected that you should know the purchase order, or you know how to create the purchase order in the SAP environment. So don't think that as a finance user it will not my role. Rest of the things, maybe in interview you will not get the question, but purchase order will be there. So I am going to show you the purchase order too. So once the purchase order created, the next activity will be goods receipt. Now quickly let's check in the system one purchase order, so that you will get the idea like how the purchase order look like. So this is the purchase order. So in this purchase order, all the basic informations related to this purchase process, it is there. So you can see here that we are purchasing the material. The material master should be created before creating the purchase order. So we are purchasing this material, and its informations like how many quantities we are purchasing. So in this example 80 kg I have included. Then delivery schedule, that information should be there, right? Then information about the conditions, that what will be the price, the purchase price, that should be there. If any transportation cost, that should be there. So I was talking about transportation cost. So that is, so all the basic informations are included. Now with reference to this purchase order, you will not find any accounting document. So whatever the output will be generated here, or whatever the output is here available here, this is purely related to our logistic. Now with reference to this purchase order, next we are going to process. So let's see what is the next process. So once the purchase order finalized, then vendor is going to supply the goods. So that we are saying that goods receipt note. So with reference to goods receipt note, it is expected that accounting document will be there, and interview 100% one question will be there. If you are going for user interview, so here the question will be there, what is the business accounting entry with reference to goods receipt? So there will be never there is no entry called purchase account debit to vendor, which you have read in the book, your graduation or post graduation, or it is there in the book. So in reality, whatever we are going to purchase, so that account is going to debit. Means, for example, let's say we are going to purchase inventory. So purchase account is going, inventory account is going to debit, and one clearing account will be there, because here basically vendor supplied the inventories to us on the basis of our purchase order, and we have not there is a verification process will be there, because we don't know whether we are going to accept it or we are going to reject it, or the product quality, all these things we have not verified. So that's why we are not liable to, or we are not going to make the payment immediately. So verification will be there. But as inventory received, so inventory is there in your premises or in company premises, so that should be one bookkeeping, or that should be one accounting entry will be there. So inventory account is going to debit, and credit will be GRR account. Now if it is a manual, like organization is doing manual activities, so this goods receipt will be handled by the logistic user or logistic clerk. Then after that, same information they will provide to the they will share to the finance team. In the finance team, they are going to manually enter this accounting entry, this account is going to debit and that account is going to credit. But if it is ERP, and particularly if it is integrated ERP like SAP, then in that case automatically system is going to post this accounting entry. So we will check that one. So now with reference to purchase order, there is GR document. Again, GR document will be the logistic document. So here I prepared one example. So with reference to goods receipt, this accounting entry will be there. So inventory account is going to debit and credit will be GRIR clearing. So here I have taken basic example inventory. It can be raw material, it can be packing material, it may be lubricant, it may be asset also if you are purchasing asset. So inventory account is going to debit and credit will be your GRIR account. Now this account is what type of account? This is one clearing account, because ultimately end of business or in end of period, this account should be zero balance. So it is temporarily we are using, that's why we are saying that it is GRIR clearing account, goods receipt, invoice receipt. Sometimes maybe you have received invoice also. So in that case, GRIR account is going to debit and vendor will be credited. So this account temporarily we are going to use, but normally with GR you will find inventory account debit and no credit to vendor. So first we are going to credit the GRIR account, and what is the source? The source document will be the MM document or the logistic document. Let's verify it. So I'm going to check here one accounting document, and with reference to, let's verify what is the source. So we will check the accounting document. Let's check this accounting document. Now this is your accounting document. If you are familiar with SAP, you can identify. So there are a couple of debit and credit entries are there. In end user interview, no one is going to expect about the integration development part, which I will come to in second phase of this particular video. But right now, business process point of view, how these accounting entries are posted, the mechanism, the technicality will not be asked, but question will be there, what is the accounting entry, or what is the connection between these two documents, or how this document is generated in the system. Is finance user is going to post this accounting entry. If I am the finance user and I am working in finance team, then this, it is not my responsibility. Automatically this document will be there in our books of account. So here you can see the accounting entry, raw material account debited, GRIR account credited. So if you are familiar with posting key, you can identify the posting keys here. So just ignore this amount. So amount is your quantity into cost of inventory, accordingly it is calculated. Then here you can see some price difference is there, purchase price difference there. So price difference can be possible that maybe your material price you have updated some with one price and your vendor supplied or the purchase order price is different. So in that case, again, two more concepts will be there. It is again not relevant for you at this moment. Moving average and standard price. So this material I have evaluated with standard price. So as per the standard price, the inventory price is not going to change. So whatever the difference is there, that difference I have tracked with a system automatically post with one different account. That account I have taken here, purchase price difference. So inventory account debit. So that means if let's go to this in PO once again. This is the purchase order. Now here you can see inventory. I'm posting the inventory at a price of, in purchase order at a price of 15, and including the transportation cost, it's updated at 1625. But in the material master, maybe I have updated the inventory price as 10. So that is why in the accounting entry you can see 80 into 10, because as per the standard price, the price will not be changed. But if it is moving average, then price will be changed. So I don't want to deviate from the current topic. So here raw material account debited 1800, GRIR account credited whatever the vendor price into quantity, and the difference amount it is updated. So how we got this entry? This entry automatically will be entered by system or posted by the system the moment user is going to process one GR document. Let's verify it. So if I will check my source document here, the original document is your goods receipt note. So this is my original document which is entered by any logistic user. Of course, I did this one, but in reality, the logistic user is going to post this accounting entry, and automatically system is going to, logistic user is going to process this logistic document, which is your GRN, goods receipt note, and with reference to this accounting entry will be posted, right? So we have reached up to this one. So first we have created MRP, then purchase requisition, then request for quotation, then identification of vendor, then document prepare purchase order, with reference to purchase order, goods receipt will be there. Then next, we are okay with all the inventories, everything, and we are ready to make the payment. So now we are asking the vendor that you can send your invoice so that we can proceed with the payment. So next activity will be invoice receipt. Again, what will be the accounting? Who is going to process the inventory? Again, logistic user. Normally, if it is not integrated one or application is not integrated one, so in that case, the logistic user will not enter it. So they will maintain some rough record in their system and they will pass this information to finance, and finance is going to raise the invoice entry. So some account debit and vendor is going to credit. But here in SAP, with help of integration, so vendor credit entry will be posted by the system with reference to the source document, again vendor reference. So what will be the accounting entry? Last accounting entry, GRIR account was credited with the amount, whatever. Now, with reference to vendor invoice, the GRIR clearing account which was credited earlier, so this one is going to be debited. So GRIR credit with GR entry and GRIR is going to debit with invoice entry. So GRIR 0 nullified, then we have the payable entry or vendor entry. So this entry we can see in the system with tax and all, it is there. So this here it is vendor is credited, then GRIR account which was debited earlier, now it is credited. So what was, I hope you remember the GRIR entry. Once again, let me show you that. So GRIR credited was 1300 and GRIR debited with 1300. Last time difference was there with my GR. Here also some more difference is there. Maybe in invoice also some difference is there. So that is adjusted. So difference amount also recorded and tax amount, GST amount is also updated and this entry is posted. So now we got the vendor invoice. Again, finance user is not doing anything. With reference to the vendor invoice, this accounting entry posted, that also we can verify. If we'll check here, the source document, original document is something from the logistic. So with reference to this logistic document, which is our vendor invoice, we got the accounting document. If you want to see the how to confirm whether it is there, so in end, I will show you the entire process, right? So this is my invoice. Now, suppose I want to see everything. So in one go, you will get everything, both in on-premises as well as Fiori. So first we have the purchase order, then with reference to purchase order, there is GR entry. With reference to GR, we got the accounting document. Earlier, I was separately showing the document. Now everything in one library. So this is my GR accounting entry with reference to GRIR document. And then we got the invoice, vendor invoice. So this is our vendor invoice. And with reference to that, we got the payment entry. So till now we have one payable item is there, and in this record it is 1008. So that means if everything is okay, now we are going to make the payment. So for that payment, again, what is required? That is bank. So you should have the bank entry will be there. Back to PPT. So when we are going to make the payment in SAP, we are following the clearing account for the payment point of view. So this will be your accounting entry. Vendor earlier credited. So now vendor is going to debit with payable amount and bank clearing. So we are using the temporary account for the clearing point of view. This is not actual clearing bank account. So which you are going to show in the balance sheet, it will be clearing account. So vendor account is going to debit and bank clearing account is going to, because whatever you have read in your book, that is not in reality, we are not following. So this is the actual business process. So vendor is going to debit and bank is going to, bank clearing account is going to credit. So in this case, we are again posting one clearing document, because as we are going to make the payment. So this document or this particular bank clearing, again, we will do the reconciliation with the bank statement, because we have to compile two set of data, our SAP information as well as the bank statement information. So if both the things are okay or it is tallied, then we can say transactions are perfectly there in our bank statement as well as in our SAP system. So this entry will be vendor to bank clearing account. Okay, so let's check this accounting entry, or that is known as your payment document. Again, when we are going to do the payment, so two options are there. Either we can go for manual payment or we can go for APP run. So mostly you will find in business, like for example, let's say 1000 vendors are there, millions of line items are there. So it is practically not possible that one by one we will make the payment. So that's why always companies prefer APP, automatic payment program. So one user is going to run the program and automatically all the due invoices as per our criteria, our system is going to clear it. So this payment is also triggered through automatic payment program, but manual option is there. For example, let's say high value invoice, so that we want to manually pay, that is also possible. Payment, so this one, I know this is this one, so this is a payment document. Now you can see this amount is not matching because my payable amount is something 1008 vendor invoice amount, but the payable amount is 1344. It's because multiple open line items there for one vendor. So when there is multiple line items will be there for one vendor, you are not going to pay one by one, right? So you will combine everything and you are going to make one payment. So it is combination of multiple payments, because if you'll check your open line items, so here just for your reference I'm showing here, let me take here all items, yeah, all items. So you just combine these two items. This is one payable item which is matching with our current example 1008, and there is one more item is there 336. So if you are going to combine together, then you will find 1344 as payable amount or paid amount. So with this, check the accounting entry. And who is going to post this entry? This one is purely payable entry, or finance team is working here. So that's why I said that source document will be the accounting document. So up to this integration done. So that means logistic user doing something and we are getting the output. But here the accounting process or accounting activities will be. But interview point of view, don't skip anything, because business analyst or business process point of view, every question is important for you. That time you can segregate, okay, it is not related to finance, so we should not concentrate on that. Interview will ask the question other areas too. Then we are going to check this accounting entry, right? So this is here, vendor is going to debit because we are going to make the payment, and this is your clearing account. So this clearing account 1344 cleared here. Okay, so we made the payment, so payment done, but process not completed. What is the last process? The last process was reconciliation. Up to this, payment done. So last process is your reconciliation. So reconciliation part means reconciliation between your bank statement information as well as payment. So that will be one more accounting entry will be there. Again, who is going to post this accounting entry? No one. The moment account statement will be uploaded, and as per the configuration, system is going to post the accounting entry and it will be cleared. So what will be the accounting entry here? So bank clearing account is going to debit, because earlier it was credited because of payment. So bank clearing account is going to debit, and actual bank account is going to credit. As if you just ignore these two lines and you made the payment vendor to bank as per the accounting. But for the process point of view, we are using the bank clearing account. So bank clearing account credited and bank clearing account debit. Similarly, when there will be collection, the bank clearing account is going to debit and bank clearing will be credit. So check this accounting entry. Okay, so 1344. So actual bank, this is my bank account. So actual bank account credit and bank clearing account debit. So 1003 earlier it was 1003 earlier it was debited, plus you can see 1344 and it is credit minus. So this is your process, which is P2P, which is going to start from MRP and it is going to end with payment and reconciliation. But mainly questions you will get here related from purchase order. In detail question will be there. So when you are going to prepare or you are practicing, so make sure that all these activities you need to post, because question may be they are from any step, from anywhere. Maybe conceptual question will be there, or maybe technical related questions will be there. Now coming to my second part, and this time it is exclusively for the consultants or the development. So as already I have explained the business process related to FI-MM integration. So next question, how this FI-MM integration is working. Till now you understood the benefit of integration, because when we are doing something, we are getting the other part, the finance part we are getting. So FI-MM integration is how it is working. So basically here we are going to link two modules. Particularly I'm talking related to this purchase process. So that means we are going to integrate our logistic module with finance module. So when some logistic activity will be there, so automatically accounting entry will be posted. Now, what are the important areas when you are going to do the integration, or as a finance consultant, what will be your role? First of all, whatever the GL accounts are required, so those GL accounts you have to create. Okay, so particularly I'm talking about OBYC. And if you are preparing for the consultant interview and let's say you have only theoretically going to explain the concept, it is not going to help you. In detail, the questions will be there in integration, and FI-MM integration is very, very important, not only the P2P or purchase point of view, because MM integration will be there in every aspect. So wherever the inventory will be there, integration will be there. Maybe it is integration with CO, maybe integration with your PP, because without this your cost of production is not going to work. Of course this P2P is not going to work. Then your outbound delivery means COPA is not going to work. So that's why everywhere wherever material or inventory will be there, the integration will be very, very important, or it is 100% you will get couple of questions in your interview in FI-MM integration. So that's why when you are preparing or when you are working on dummy projects, or so make sure that the logistic part should be there and its integration with finance, so that you can see the output. Like just now I was showing the document. So this document practically you can see if you are getting the error, so resolve those errors. Until unless you will not experience this part, the technical, you can't confidently answer these questions. Now what are the important area here when or what area you will expect the questions? First of all, interviewer will ask that on what basis system is going to identify the debit and credits, because as logistic user is going to perform their logistic document, so they are not going to post the debit entry, because being a logistic user I don't know what is debit and credit. Then on what basis system is going to identify the debit credit? So you should able to explain in detail the mechanism between the GL entry, because you know the posting keys, but where is the posting key is there in your logistic document, because the logistic document there is no posting key. Posting key is related to finance. So how then it is working? So if I'm saying that it is 99 or credited or debited, so on what basis this one is working? So right now particularly I'm talking about this one. You can see here some with reference to logistic vendor invoice we got these entries, particularly these entries, right? This entries. So how it is working? So that is why it is very important you should able to explain about the concept of movement type, right? So movement type mechanism you need to explain. Then valuation class. So valuation class is the key point, which is connection between your OBYC settings as well as your inventory, because in the logistic document we are not going to enter any debit credit, we are not going to enter any GL account. How system is going to identify? So valuation class is very important, whether you are using system delivered valuation class or your logistic consultant created the valuation class, you should able to explain in detail about the valuation class, right? So that is also important one. And of course transaction key, because whenever there will be auto posting, so transaction key is very, very important, like your BSX, your WRX or your PRD. So wherever you can see any document, the transaction keys are there. Without transaction key, without mapping, the auto posting will not work. So these are all our different transaction keys in different document you will get it. So that is also important, that you need to prepare and that you need to explain. Not only just one word answer is going to work, you have to explain in detail, like how this movement type, for example, let's say you are using movement type 101. So how this movement type 101 is connected with your AUF, or it is connected with your PRD. So in detail you have to explain. So that is what interviewer is asking or interviewer is expecting. Then material type, because whenever you are going to create any material master or logistic record will be created. So then in that case, because every material master whatever we are creating, so it is part of one attributes of material type, and this attributes of material type is important, because on the basis of your attributes of material type the behavior of material will be decided, right? For example, let's say if we are saying that let's take that material, right? So this material is created ROH because it is raw material. So this material type is also important for your explanation point of view. So that also you need to explain in detail, what is the attributes of material type and what is the need, or whether it is moving average, standard price, because in which there was some difference was there. So in which situation difference will be there? If a difference will be there, at what level we are going to evaluate? Are we going to settle with your product? Then here material ledger also will be there, because the difference amount I was showing. So now I can show you the material ledger part also. Check this one. So difference was there 500. Now it is captured here. The 500 captured here. Then again the difference related to invoice I settle. So each and everything user point of view it is readily available. But in backend, how you will do this configuration so that everything will be or system is going to work. So that's why that preparation or that level technical configuration is required. So these are very important areas where you will get the question: what is movement type? What is the valuation class? Right? So what is the transaction key? So that also you need to explain. Yeah, related to general modifier. So what is the, I'm sure you must have seen this one, right, in your GBB settings. So in JBB settings, these are different type of general modifier I'm using. Valuation modifier is there. So what is the difference between these two, or what is in which situation what we are going to use, or what is the need of these? If you are not going to use, what error will be expected? So make sure that you should prepare in every area. So not only just assigning go to OBYC and assign couple of GL accounts is going to work. So in detail, the mechanism should be work. For example, let's say, is it mandatory to have valuation modifier? Yes or not, right? Whether you are going to use the valuation modifier for every valuation area. If we are going to use one valuation area, then in that case, valuation modifier is required or not. So all these questions are very, very important. Then another question will be there, difference between your valuation modifier and general modifier. So valuation modifier, grouping of your valuation areas. And what is the need of your general modifier? So basically, general modifier is going to help us to post different entries with the same. So this is the screenshot I have extracted from GBB. So my transaction key is 1, that is GBB, but under GBB I have entered multiple GL accounts with different type of general modifier. Right, so like this, you need to do all type of cross checks. So then in that case, you will able to answer it. Questions will be there. For example, let's say there will be price difference will be there. At what level price difference will be there? For example, let's one scenario. Let's say we have created a PO at one price, and there was GR is also processed at same price. That means purchase order price and GR price, there was no difference. Then we process the invoice. Okay, so let me go to the document, it will be easy. So this is one GR document or accounting document with reference to GR. Now see here, this is one purchase order. In this purchase order, difference is not there. PO price is per unit price is 10 and material updated price is 10. My previous example, GR difference was there. In this case, in GR difference is not there because in purchase order there is no difference recorded. So whatever your material price, same is your purchase order price. And of course, because of that, there is no, this is my GR, this is my GR. So in GR there is no difference. And of course, because of that, in accounting document also there is no difference. You can see here, price difference is 0. Whereas in this document, I was showing another document, right? Here you can see difference is there. Both are your accounting document with reference to GR, but in this case, difference is there between your material updated price and PO price. Whereas in this case, there is no difference is there. But at the time of invoice posting, let's say vendor, the price increased. So in that case, how to handle it? Now, if I will check the invoice, now you can see here, this is my invoice. And here the price per unit price increased. So POI raised at a price of 10 and invoice 11. So because of that, some difference is there. So this difference we are going to capture. Now with reference to your invoice, the difference is captured, and this difference also should be there in the material ledger. So when you are preparing, you do a preparation in every aspect and do all the scenario you need to configure in the system, because when you will configure everything or multiple scenarios in the system, you will confident. And when you are going for interview, particularly for the consulting point of view or development point of view, just one preparation or one same way you do, let's say you did 5-time configuration, but every time you did the same configuration, it is not going to work. So I have seen like people are doing the same configuration and again. In that way, what you are doing, you are just doing the copy paste work. So every business scenario, when you are practicing, first time one scenario, second time another scenario, so that in interviewer, if your interviewer is asking different type of questions, then you can easily manage it. So this is what related to these two business process related questions and FI-MM integration. If you have any other scenario, you can mail me. My mail ID is there. You can mail me. So definitely I will add one video, or on this I will add some more scenario related questions so that it will help you. Okay, so in another video, I will come with another question related to very tricky question or important questions related to both business process we will see, as well as the configuration or consultant part we will see. Thank you very much.